Oh, it's time to hit the market, everybody. See what's going on in the Sixers world. The quarterly stock report for the basketball team on a Tuesday. Welcome to the PHLY Sixers podcast, live from the Xfinity Lounge along with Derek. I'm Devon, and Bree is producing, as always, the president of basketball operations. We are presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app. Use code PHLY365 when you do sign up. Great to have you all in the chat. Good to be with you on this Tuesday. And we got to do a little bit of a stock report. We haven't done this in a while when it comes to the Philadelphia 76ers. So we got to rate these players and see exactly where they are at this stage of the season. 25 games in, 14-11 game record. How many games have they played that are the crunch time games? About
a lot.
18 of the 25 that they have been in. Let's actually talk about that, and maybe we'll get a little bit of some NBA Cup thoughts from Derek later on. I doubt it.
I have done.
Maybe we'll get him from Bree a little bit later on. Gene says, where are the accounting visors? We couldn't find them, Gene. But we do have the cards. The cards are back. Look at that. Stock up, stock down here on the show.
And by we couldn't find them, I mean I physically threatened Devon that if he brought them out, we would have to have words.
And Theo says, because we need the big calculators, Theo says that would have been brilliant.
Big calculators, that we can do.
Good call by Eugene. They actually sell those. Remember in this store where you go and they have the giant calculators? Not like this size, but yes, we do. That would be nice to have a.
I think I still have a graphing calculator somewhere from high school.
Yeah?
I can go find that.
All right. Calculator.
I don't think it turns on anymore, but I think I might have it.
Well, it doesn't have to turn on. As long as you have it, that's all that matters. All right. We're going to do all that today and talk a little bit more about a few things as the show goes along. But let's get to it. The Sixers stock report, 25 games into the season. We've run through all the players, and Derek and I, as always, and when Kyle is here as well, we send Bree these blindly that none of us know what the other has chosen. So
Devon does know one of mine because I forgot to list one, and so I had to tell Bree in person. So a little bit of cheating.
That's all right, because he probably knows where I'm on that side of that player or coach as well. All right, so let's get to it. Bree's just going to throw these players out. Hopefully you in the chat share your stock up, stock down with the players. And if we had, Gene, the TI 83.
I had a TI 89 back then.
If we had it,
awesome.
we would use that as part of the show, but we don't. Let's get to it here. Stock up, stock down for who? Do we start off with Tyrese Maxey? This was very easy.
Yeah. I don't even know if this one needs any real explanation.
I mean, the guy's an all-star. He's in the all-NBA conversation. The reason that they are 14-11 and hovering above 500 where they are right now starts with him.
Yeah. No, it is like in prior years, we would always say, like, even with a broken roster, as long as Joel Embiid stepped foot on the floor, you have a chance to win 50 games. You have a chance to compete any night. Tyrese is now at the point where, like, they have a chance to compete on a nightly basis almost entirely because of his presence. And no matter who's in and out of the lineup, he has been able to lift them to at least competency and frequently beyond that. If you are, if you gave Tyrese Maxey a stock down, you're basically telling me, no, I think this 6'2" guy that we drafted with the 21st pick should be the best player in the world. And if you're saying that, you are completely and utterly unrealistic in your expectations. Any reasonable expectations he has exceeded. His passing is better. He's getting the free throw line more. His defense is better. There is almost no way you could not give him a stock up.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. So I'm with Derek. This one is easy. Stock up for him. Marcus is saying it. D Flyers is saying up, stock up. Through the roof, as Gene says, for Tyrese Maxey. The questions that we had about Maxey a season ago, not even just a season ago, we were talking about this in the offseason. Could he carry a franchise? And the answer was no. He couldn't carry a franchise. Something has changed. And what it has changed into is a 33-point per game score, 32-point per game score. Again, all NBA conversation. We're discussing, is he going to be a starter in the All-Star game? That's voting and all. But look, you do have two USA teams, one world team. And he's going to be there. It's just a matter of is he going to be starting for one of those USA teams when they tip off that first one in Los Angeles. So he has been amazing. He has been unbelievably good this season. And I don't see any reason why it would stop there and to hear the other parts of the veterans, especially starting with Paul George, Andre Drummond, where Paul George says, when I'm out there on the floor, he misses 2 free throws. He has 44 points. They lose the game because he misses those 2. Paul George stands up and says, I'm out there and I play for him. I play for that guy. Andre Drummond saying, yeah, I knew he was this good, but I didn't know because everything revolved around Joel Embiid. If he could do this, he can certainly do this. He changes the trajectory. Then you look at the Edgecombe piece of it with Maxey. As you said yesterday, things look so good now when you have those two as your starting point. What, Maxey is 26, 25, 26?
I think 25.
He's still 25. He hasn't turned 26 yet. That's really good.
I think he just turned 25.
He just turned 25.
Yeah.
So with that, it's easily a stock up for Tyrese Maxey. He is the easiest of locks when it comes to stock up as we go through the 14 players on this roster that are regulars, and then the two-ways and the three two-way guys as well. Easily the easiest one to choose right here for a stock up for Tyrese Maxey. All right. We can just move on.
We can. I truly like, in part because we spend, I feel like, all day, every day talking about Tyrese Maxey, but in part because this one just doesn't need any explanation.
No, it's been done multiple times, and we continue to talk about how great he has been. All right, let's go to the next one. Stock up, stock down. Joel Embiid, I'm up. Stock up. Derek is down, so let's run out the rules of the stock up, stock down here.
Yeah, so when Devon and I discussed this, it was really like based off, like, stock up or stock down based off of where you were at coming into the season. And this was a tough one for me because on the one hand, like the start of the season was discouraging, both because of the 3 weeks missed with his right knee, but that truly isn't even really it. Just the way he looked defensively. The way he looked defensively for the first, how many games he played at this point? I don't even know off the top of my head. But through certainly the first like 7 to 10 games that he played this year, those concerns that I had about his defense in January of last year, he's only played 11. So through the first, like I would say, 5 or 6 games of what he showed reinforced a lot of the concerns I had from the way he was moving last year defensively. The last 3 or 4 games, really the last 4, I'll say,
Lakers game was not good.
3 or 4.
Lakers in the game was not good.
Not good, but I remember going back there and talking about it and saying, like, I actually think the process that got him there was fine. He just shot 4 for 21.
Right.
And that's a lot easier than back up with the
and it happens.
Best game he's had in 2 years after that.
Right.
So the first 5 or 6 games that he played, then followed by that long 3-week layoff, reinforced a lot of concerns I had defensively in last January. Because I remember sitting here last January going like, whoa, this is the first time he looks like a liability on defense. I don't know what to make of this. When he came back and played like that again, I was really concerned. The last 3 or 4 games, I think, have been encouraging, in part because he had a 39-point performance, but in part because he is moving more, he's jumping more, he's challenging more shots, he's in better defensive rebounding positioning. This is starting to look like the version of Embiid that defensively you can, certainly live with and can not anchor, but at least be a part of an average to maybe slightly above average defense. So it is a stock down based off of where I was up until like a week ago. And because of the context of our conversation, it is the full season. It is based off of our expectations coming in. I didn't want to completely override that based off of a short 3 or 4 games. But here's what I'll say. Right now, this is stock up, the first one of the season, so it encompasses the whole season. If this was like a vibe check of like, what do I think going forward? I think by the next stock report, I'm going to be sitting here saying he looks more comfortable. He looks like he is starting to put things together, starting to learn how he can play, within the limitations of his body, and just looks like he's gotten into a better rhythm. So I would say stock down based off of the full season to date, the 25 games that they have played, but optimistic that by the next time we do a stock report, it will be trending in the right direction.
So Jarrell says Embiid stock down, he's not reliable enough. You can't rely on him to be out there.
But that was that was baked into the stock price. Yeah.
Right. And even with that, they still have a 14-11 record. Who knows what it would be if he had played a little bit more. And the reason I went with that way, obviously I'm leaning more towards what we've seen in the last few games. That's encouraging. And then at the start of the season, he wasn't bad at the start of the season. He was just okay. And he had the one game, of course, against the Toronto Raptors, 29 points. And then he tailed off because he didn't play a lot, and he had some moments in between there, like the Chicago fourth quarter, things of that nature, having to sit against Washington. But for the most part, he was okay in those games until certain points of the game. Then the bad part of the 4-21 for the Lakers, Derek is right. It wasn't a bad process of it all, of what was happening. He was getting the looks. I questioned him on a few things, but for the most part, the shots looked good. They didn't fall. But when he came back, he bounced back. What did he do? He came back and he dropped 39 points after seeing the ball go through the rim quite often that night and do other things, getting engaged. The athleticism looked that much better. The rebounding positioning was there. He grabbed boards. And then he did the same thing in this game where he had a 22 and 24 in this loss on what was that? On Sunday. And he looked much, much better against the Atlanta Hawks with an athletic team. Now, defensively, he couldn't get out on the Kongwu, and he knocked down, like 5 threes in that game. There were some other issues, but he still had 22 and 14. And on a normal 22 and 14 night, we would be talking about Joel saying, you know what, he's not that same player that we saw 2 seasons ago where we were talking MVP once again, but he certainly looks okay. So for where he is right now, that's why I went stock up. And I think it is fair, too, that Music Lover says neutral for Joel.
So here's the funny thing. When I first laid out all of my, because I put them in 3 categories. I had stock up, stock down, neutral. My initial run through this morning, I had him stock up. And I'm like, no, I'm not giving the first month and a half of the season enough weight. I'm overlooking that based off of recency. I should trend this down. I should have probably put him in neutral.
Same.
I'm adjusting my.
That's fair.
I'm adjusting my ranking.
That's fair. We probably should have both put him at neutral for this conversation. So good call. And but Marcus Blackstock says no, stock up for now, for right now, and that could change. Well, that's 82 games of a season. That could change no matter what of where you start to project these players and what they do, because you know there's going to be the ebbs and flows of a season. But it's can you count on him? And as Jarrell says, he's not reliable. Can you count on him?
Well, no, you can't.
You can't count on him to be out there, but when he's out there, can you count on him when he's out there?
This isn't a stock report based off of where he was 2 years ago. It's a stock report based off of where he was coming into the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. He doesn't want to see, Jarrell says, I don't want to see Joel Embiid trying to take guys off the dribble anymore.
I do.
An automatic turnover.
I do. If you want to get Joel Embiid back to where he is, I think taking people off the dribble, 2 things. First of all, he's talented. He can bully people when he's driving. He gets the free throw line a lot when he's driving. But almost most importantly, it gives him just a little bit more space on that jumper. If you want that jumper to be effective, and quite frankly, if he's going to be an effective offensive player, he's going to have to make that jumper. I think having the threat of taking guys off the dribble makes him a more effective jump shooter, and I think that's important. So are there individual instances where I think he might go overboard? Yes. Are there times where he should pull it back out or maybe set a screen, go to a DHO? Yes. But I don't think you can completely remove that from his game. And also, like, when he is driving, it just shows to me that he is confident in that knee. So I think I was talking about this on our Discord the other day, where, like, on the one hand, he drives and I go like, oh my God, I'm having a panic attack because I don't need him to get injured again. On the other hand, I'm like, oh, but that's reassuring because it means he feels pretty good.
And again, it's the type of drives that he takes. Is it the one off of I'm driving to the right and then I have to jump off my left knee and try to score the basketball? Or is it I'm driving to my left and I'm going to have an awkward type of finishing motion when I'm trying to get to the basket and lay up or stop on a dime and try to pull up or maybe draw that foul? He's not a fluid driver. So when Jarrell, you talk about, I don't want to see him putting on the floor anymore and the dribbling, it's not fluid because he's still thinking of how am I going to land? How am I going to pivot? Do I put this pressure on this knee where it's going to be painful? When I do it, I hear you, but I still want to see that because it will open up things. And typically when he gets there, it might be a quick stop. He has that elongated one now where he stops and leaves the pivot foot down, but leaves the one leg kind of in the air and get the guy up in the air. And then he finishes and he draws the foul, something along that. It's not fluid anymore like it used to. So it's really uncoordinated, but he's adjusting the coordination while dealing with the pain of putting the ball on the floor. And it has to open up the jump shooting with that hang dribble that we know that is pretty much automatic. Well, it wasn't against the Lakers, but he came back and it was automatic against the Indiana Pacers, somewhat against the Atlanta Hawks. he is still figuring out that part of how to deal with the pain while still being an effective driver to open up not only opportunities for himself, but for his teammates. I agree with you, Derek. I still want to see him drive to the basket, but just be more deliberate about it when he's doing it. Yes, it looks weird. It's no longer very smooth like it used to be because he cannot explode off of that knee. I want to see him drive the basketball and try to finish.
I just want to point out, because you always want to give the GOAT credit when it's deserved. My phone vibrated. In our business, you tend to check your phone because it could be something important. Bree immediately went to the solo cam with Devon. Didn't need it. The text wasn't, or the notification was important. But that is some grade A producing right there.
She does that all the time. Yeah, she's
Very
fantastic.
good.
That's why she's the GOAT. As Gene calls her, she's the GOAT. She's the best. That's why she's with us, and she makes the show go the way that it does. All right, first two in the books, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey. Who do we have next? We'll get to them after the break. Our first pause, stock report, the quarterly stock report for the Philadelphia 76ers, 25 games in, 14-11 record. It's pretty darn good for this basketball team, all things considered. Who do we have next? We'll get to it when we get back. It's the PHLY Sixers podcast. Stock up, stock down on a Tuesday. Folks, the best way to spread holiday cheer, well, yes, it's the love, it's the time spent during the holidays, but it's also making people happy with the gift giving, and you can do that with a gift from Aura Frame and keeping the family near. One thing for me in particular is my grandmother. She's older, and she's in Massachusetts. She's not too hip with Wi-Fi and apps and all that stuff. So with the Aura Frame, I can just simply get the frame, upload the photos and video on my app, and connect it to the Wi-Fi, send it to her in a personalized gift, add a message before it arrives, and I can still upload photos throughout the year, all year long. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver Met frames, named #1 by Wirecutter by using promo code PHLY at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code PHLY. This deal is exclusive to listeners, and frames sell out fast, so order yours now to get in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. And we are also presented by our presenting sponsor of the show, Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. We got the NBA Cup game tonight, everybody. New York and San Antonio. Who are you rooting for? Who are you wagering on? You know where I'm going. But if you want to go there as one of 90 million users worldwide, and you can bet live in-game betting, which is fantastic with Bet365. They got you covered right there. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. All right, here's what you do as a new customer to sign up. Download the app. Use code PHLY365. You bet $5 after placing a $10 wager, and you get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. Bonus bets can be used on spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 plus and physically located in Pennsylvania. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. And we're back here on the PHLY Sixers podcast presented by Bet365. Big NBA Cup game tonight, everybody. So go ahead and check out and see where you can get in where you fit in on a Tuesday night safety $10 bet, as always, at Bet365. And you want to do that, especially if you pick the Spurs knowing that they're going to lose to the Knicks tonight. You want to get your money back after you bet on the Spurs knowing that you should not have. I'm just saying. I'm just pointing it out. And
Let's go, Wemby!
You get a 50% super profit boost at Bet365. You know what he said? He said this real fast. Chris Haynes was interviewing him, and he says, on the Knicks, they don't play a brand of basketball as sophisticated as the Miami Heat or the Thunder, but their physicality is tops in the league, so it's a very tough team to play against. He gives them credit, but he also shoots them down in the very beginning like they're not smart. They're not difficult to figure out when it comes to how they play. He's too smart sometimes for his own good, because that can get you in trouble.
Yes, he can. I'm just glad he's back on the court.
So am I.
Although, might have been a little. How much is that bonus for winning the cup?
Let me check. I can't remember. It's 200, like 250 or something like that.
So maybe for your family's sake, maybe it would have been better if he didn't come back.
Oh no, 250.
Okay.
250. Lock it in. 250. Lock it in. Yeah. I'm not worried. Even though Steph Castle was just, he's so good, man. Steph Castle is really good. So yeah. All right. So tournament earning about 530. So players on the winning team earn about 530,933 each. Runners up get around 212,373. Semifinalists $106,187, and quarterfinalists roughly 53,000.
I like the 53,000.
Yeah,
for guys making 50 million a year.
Yeah, it's the stipend. There you go, the stipend. Yeah, 500K. We'll take that. No worries. I'm happy with that. But no, it should be a good game tonight. Make sure everybody tune in, and we'll talk about it. Maybe I'm sure a little bit tomorrow of how it all plays out. Vegas, red eye tonight. See you there. All right, let's get to it. Next, stock up, stock down report. Who we have? Paul George. Stock up for the both of this. Now this is for the season. This is not for any recency, bias that we talk about. This is for the entire season with what he has done.
So I will say I didn't factor availability in too much, especially on a guy like Paul George, who we knew coming into the season he was going to miss games, and he ended up missing the first 12 games or so. But for the most part, after that, he's been relatively available.
And he's played in 10 games total.
Yeah, and he hasn't missed more than, he's only missed 3 games over the last 13, so he's been mostly a consistent player. And if you look at, his per-minute scoring averages, he's right there in between where he was with the Clippers and where he was last year. He split the difference while shooting, 43% from three-point range. Now, a lot of that is being carried by the last couple of games, but even still, his averages as a whole, 17.1 points, 5 rebounds, 43% from 3, are really strong. And you add in the stabilizing influence he's had on the defense, the fact that he's carried you to legitimately, the last 2 games pretty much, one of those being a win. He's playing better basketball and more consistent than I thought coming in. And, we talked last year about he's going to shoot. Shooting's going to come around, and he has. But I think he's doing everything else as well. He's really showing you why he could have been an elite third option. Unfortunately, your top option, or previous top option when you signed Paul George at that time, has a stock down and an availability crisis.
If he keeps this up, 17, 5 and 3, pretty much, steal a game. If he keeps this up, is he the one that you would look at and say he's the difference?
Oh, we're completely forgetting about our cardboard.
Oh, that's
fine.
No, because Puppas did say we can't have the stock report without the stupid hats.
Well,
we couldn't find them, but we do have. I
burned them a year ago.
Oh, we did?
They don't exist anymore.
They don't exist. We needed some warmth here in the studio during the winter, and we needed, we have the stock, the stock cards here that we have. So we do have that back. But with that being said, is he the difference maker, you think? In let's say in the season they're pushing for 5, 6, maybe even 4 in the Eastern Conference. His availability, his two-way play. Is he the difference?
I mean, you can certainly make an argument he's the second most important player on the team right now.
Okay.
I really think that defense is undersold by a lot of people and under-discussed. And he is legitimately, significantly better on offense than he was last year. Embiid is probably the swing player, where if he is able to round back into, certainly not 2 years ago for him, but a better version than we've seen so far, if playing regularly really helps him get into that rhythm, if he gains confidence in that knee, his play is a swing skill, or the swing, what's going to determine the success or failure of the team. But I think Paul is a very key part that's, like I said, been stabilizing and also carried you.
So
really good.
The one thing that was out there yesterday, and it was from Sixers Wire. Kai Carlin had this in his article with Sixers Wire, and it was about him firing back at people that called him washed after last season, signing a big contract, not living up to it a season ago with the Sixers. Here's his quote. I mean, prior to coming here, I was coming off of my most efficient seasons, one of my most efficient seasons, All-Star that year. I didn't see myself being washed that fast, but I knew that this league is about what you can do now, and they tend to forget everything that I have done. So it was a bit of a motivation going into the summer to just get healthy and kind of let everything else take care of itself, end quote. Now, he got not hurt, but it re-aggravated the knee injury, had to have that surgery, which caused him to miss the first few games that Derek talked about. But since then, he's been playing regularly. And while we did kind of scoff and roll our eyes when he appeared on the injury report for now an ankle injury, we're like, all right, here we go again. Derek, he hasn't been on there for like the last 3 games.
Yeah.
And that's encouraging. So with that, 17, 5 and 3, 1 steal a game, hitting the 3-pointers at a pretty good clip, like you talked about last year during that one stretch. What was that? Right around December into January.
January, yeah.
If he can keep that up, I know all 3 of us had the numbers somewhere, right? Yeah, you guys had him at like 15 points a game, 16 points a game. I went as high as 19. He'll probably level off right where he is at 17, but giving you those assists and those rebounds and certainly the defense to have this two-way ability. So he could be the swing player, as Derek talked about. He has been really good for this basketball team, especially during these last couple of games where you could see, oh, that's Paul George, even at the age of 35.
Yeah, and really the high, part of the reason why I didn't think he was going to push 20 points is I just thought there was a lot of scoring options on his team that weren't here at this time last year, whether that's McCain, or that obviously hasn't materialized. We'll get to him soon. Whether that's Grimes, who wasn't on the roster, VJ, who we knew was going to have a big role. There were just more options, more weapons.
100%.
And hopefully Joel Embiid being more available than he was last year. Paul probably just wasn't going to have the ball enough to be a 20, 22 point per game scorer. I was hopeful he would be certainly a more efficient version of himself. And like I said, that stabilizing effect on defense, which is why I was thinking more in a 16 to 17 point per game range. I do think, here's a shocker. Fans can at times overreact. That's why we're called fans. Certainly part of the reason I have never wanted to cover any other sports is because I want to be irrational about things like baseball. And baseball is a perfect sport to be irrational because you fail so often, even the great players. But I think we can overreact to one shooting slump. I was a little concerned. It was tough to evaluate Paul last year because he got that first bone bruise in preseason. He was almost legitimately never healthy. And then when he finally looked like he was starting to get rolling, boom, the tendon injury in his hand, and he's done for the year. So it was real tough to figure out what of that athletic decline was related to the bone bruises, what was because he's now 34 at that time, going on 35. But he didn't forget how to play basketball. So if the physicality is able to recover, then all of a sudden you've got a really good shooter. And even when he was missing shots last year, I was confident he would be a really good shooter who knows how to play the game and is a good two-way player. And I think that's mostly what we've seen so far. He's clearly not prime Paul George in his ability to get to the basket, but he is still a supremely skilled player with two-way ability, makes pretty good decisions with the ball for the most part, and has a super high release point on a shot that people just cannot contest.
Yep. All right, let's do it. Let's get to the next one. Paul George, stock up for both Derek and I. All of you in the chat as well saying stock up for Paul George. Let's get to the next one. Bree, who do we have? VJ Edgecombe. This was also pretty easy, I think.
Yeah. If you had higher expectations for this, I think you're fooling yourself. Look, I do think the stuff inside the arc as a scorer is going to be a little bit up and down. He's not a great scorer at the rim right now, although I have been encouraged by the last couple of games. It seems like he is figuring some stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
He's still got some work to do on that end. The handle still has some work to do. You're going to have moments, I think, where you're frustrated because you're frustrated in almost every rookie. But for him to, I've said this time and time again over the last week, for him to come out here and not only have put in the work to shoot 39% from three, to shoot 42% on catch and shoot threes, but to have the confidence to go through a 1-for-6 start to a game and still fire away down the stretch, it's massive. And I think his defense is getting better as the season progresses. Like I said, I think he's starting to figure out ways to attack and score at the rim better than he was. And I just believe a kid with his work ethic and physical tools is going to figure it out. It has been a wildly, and I mean, Nick Nurse at the beginning of the season said, we grade VJ based off of minutes. And what the subtext there is has he earned my trust enough where he's going to play big minutes to get his defense on the floor? And he very clearly has. Maybe a little too much trust and a little too many minutes because I'm worried about him getting worn down a little bit. But it's been a huge success so far.
No, it really has. Again, I don't know, man. Maybe because when we had on his head coach at Baylor and we talked to Scott Drew about a lot of different things with VJ Edgecombe, and I always go back to the Dwayne Wade, Russell Westbrook conversation that he had. Young players, not, of course, where they are in their primes and now future Hall of Famers. And I look at the jump shooting. I look at how much we talked about the mid-range game. And while it's still not perfect, he takes the shots. He makes some of those shots more often than not. And the leaving his feet too soon. All of those things. But even with that, the big shot making that he takes at the end of the games and all these clutch ones, and he inevitably hits a three pretty much in every one of these games. That's important, either to help them win or at least get them closer where it's a much tighter finish at the end of the game. He has been really good, man. He has been fun to watch. The athleticism we knew was so glaring that wasn't on the roster a year ago. And with his athleticism on this group, on this team, it just jumps off the screen every time he gets the ball in the open floor. We're sitting here back at the studio, and we're like, do it, because he can go up there and just try to jump over somebody and get a strong finish at the rim. But being engaged defensively, seeing he and Paul George with Kelly Oubre not out there, and you watch him with Dominic Barlow and Paul George out there on the floor, and he's jumping passing lanes. He's reading stuff weak side to jump in front of plays to disrupt things when the passes are trying to be snuck in there. And it's just so many positives to talk about with VJ Edgecombe. 25 games into the season where he has played so far, like 20, 21, 22, 20 of those games so far this season. Easy stock up for him. Tyrese Maxey was definitely a lock, but there's not much to this one where we would have to look in a different direction when it comes to VJ Edgecombe, because he has just been that good. It just easily overachieving where I thought he would be 25 games into his NBA career. Just been fun to watch. And we had the conversation yesterday about Con Knipple or VJ Edgecombe. Both teams got it right. And if they swapped teams, they would still both be playing at a pretty decent level for their first run in the NBA. So I'm happy with what he has done, happy that he is on this basketball team, and we get to see him build with Tyrese Maxey going forward. All right, you want to sneak one in, Bree? Like a under-the-radar one maybe that you got here before we go to break and say hello to some more friends there on the other side? Let's get one here for Hunter Salas. Two-way. The only two-way guard. The only one that's not having an impact so far on the roster. Incomplete.
Yeah, he doesn't play, which itself is probably a stock down, but
yeah,
that felt rude.
Yeah, it would be wrong. Yeah. It would be wrong to have him as a stock down because they could use the guard play right now. A little extra help when we'll talk about the two others that are on the roster that are guards that you don't want to see that have way more experience than him. But when you have a two-way, well, we have seen two-ways with Ricky Council and Justin Edwards on two-ways at the guard wing position come in and have impacts. Unfortunately, he has not as of yet. So that's where we go incomplete for Hunter Salas. No knock on him, but it would be nice if he had a little bit more of an impact where he's playable in some of these games. Nick Nurse did give him some run early, though, where he would come in about 45 seconds to close the second quarter, something like that. And he wouldn't do anything wrong. Yeah. He was just out there.
Look, if
he's still in evaluation mode.
If you hit on 2 out of 3 two-way spots, you are doing great.
Yeah, he's still in evaluation mode, so no knock on him. We'll see with Hunter Salas, and liked it when they signed him, and let's see how it all plays out and get some more run there with the Blue Coats, and let's rock and roll. All right, next pause here for us. We come back, we'll get to some more names. I know you've been waiting for a few of these names that we're going to discuss on the other side. Who does Bree have for us? We'll find out together when we get back. The stock report, Sixers related at the quarter mark, 25 games in with the 14-11 basketball team. We'll do it all when we get back right here on the PHLY Sixers podcast.
Guys, you ever head on over to a friend's house, you're ready to watch a big game, you get there and their setup is a total mess. Lagging, buffering, the entire experience is an absolute disaster. I've been begging Rich for so long. Please, please, please fix your setup. He just won't listen. We all have a friend like Rich Hoffman. He claimed he was a big fan, but you feel like you've been tricked. Because if you call yourself a basketball fan, you have to have Xfinity. It's the ultimate sports destination where you can find the best games and your favorite teams all in one place. And the way that you watch is next level. You've got all the action right in your living room, plus with the Xfinity's best picture and sound with enhanced 4K, it's so clear that it feels like you're in the arena. On top of that, you get real-time notifications and live stats right on your TV. It's the best seat in the house every time. Next game day, make sure that big fan isn't a big fail. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Multi-view requires Xfinity 4K capable TV box.
All right, team, we were all out there shoveling on Sunday. Your shoulder hurts. Your back has tightened up. I know you went in the house and got the hot chocolate and you sat down and relaxed, but you know what you really needed after we're here on this Tuesday? You need Rothman Orthopedics, the great people from Rothman. Whether it's a sore knee, stiff shoulder, nagging back pain from all that shoveling and lifting and throwing it over your shoulder, Rothman Orthopedics is here to help you get back to the life you love, spending time with the holidays, feeling good with your family. Their team of specialists treats all kinds of orthopedic issues from everyday strains to long-term joint pain with care that's efficient, effective, and close to home. So don't let pain keep you sidelined this holiday season. Schedule an appointment today at rothmanortho.com/PHLY. And if you need to make a quick trip, plenty of areas that you can visit here to go check out Rothman Orthopedics. But rothmanortho.com/PHLY, Rothman Orthopedics, your mobility. And you know what else? It's their mission. Welcome back on the PHLY Sixers podcast on this Tuesday. I'm feeling all right. You know, Rothman taught me some things over the years. That shoveling was unnecessary because we don't like snow here on this show. We can't stand it. Shoveling had to be done. Rothman made sure that I was good to go. So my shoulder's good. My back is all right. I'm not complaining today because of Rothman. But if you need them, go see Rothman.
I mean, you're complaining, just not about.
I'm complaining about
injuries.
The snow.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that now I don't have to worry about let me run to Rothman because my back hurts and my knee and all that. But I'm good, man. I'm good. Snow stinks.
Yes.
It really does.
Yeah,
it's all pretty. It's beautiful when it comes down. It's flowing down.
I'll probably hit the slopes maybe like twice a year, and I'll appreciate snow for those 2 days. But every other day it stinks.
It's awful. Yeah, it's terrible. Maybe we need to do a show about that because it's awful and people like snow and we just don't, we don't get into it. Yes. Terrible. We got to tell you about some with the gifts and giving and all. About 9 days away, 10 days away, something like that.
Yeah.
And guess what, folks? 9 days away. You want some last minute gifts? Look at the new styles, the new hats, ALLCITY headwear, the PHLY headwear at PHLY.com. Of course, allPHLY.com or store.allcitynetwork.com. You can go check out the new lids that you want to get for all your family and your friends out there to represent your favorite network here at PHLY. And you can do so based on the shows. You saw the navy blue one in the front. That's the basketball theme hat. The black one right there directly next to the navy one, that's the Flyers theme one. And we already had where Derek and Kyle have donned the PHLY, the Eagles themed hat in Kelly green. Also, the very nice one to the right with the cream and the black bill on the hat. These are all branded Bills hats that are very, very cool. And I cannot wait to have mine. And I hope you're all able to get yourself or maybe some of your loved ones. Maybe you told somebody in your family, you know what? I want one of those PHLY hats. Go to store.allcitynetwork.com or allphly.com. Hit the merch drop button and you can get yourself a new lid. As look at D Flyers likes it. Ramid likes the new hats.
Also got some good hoodies. It's that time of year. You need some warm clothing, so check those out too. And
it's really cold outside, and if you all know me, I don't like the cold, so you see what I have on. Got my PHLY Scully on right now. It'll say beanie on the website. I'm not fighting with the people how it says it, but that's like a,
That's good because you're
wrong.
It's
a cultural thing, I think. So, Scully from around the way and the beanie when, overall, it's all good. But either way, I'm warm, and I got mine right from our store there on the website. So make sure you go get yours, and when we get our new hats, we'll start wearing them on the show too. We'll do that for you. All right, let's get to some more here, Bree. Who do we have next? Nick Nurse. I didn't know he was on the list.
Yeah. Neither did I until I walked in the studio.
Well, he's neutral, Derek. And I think that I think that's fair. He hasn't been bad. I think he's been more good than bad. And when we argue with people, like the one I remember one night, it was another third quarter collapse that they had that really ticked me off. And we were going back and forth with some people in the chat about it's Nick Nurse's fault, it's the coach. And I'm like, Or the coach delivered the message. The people have to go out there and execute. I don't know why it's still a problem, but it's a problem. How much is it him and versus so on and so forth? But they're still 14-11, and they're in all of these games.
Yeah, I think, look, one of my major beliefs for pretty much the entirety I've been covering this sport is that a lot of people's frustration get taken out on a coach, but a lot of times the coach's impact is overstated. And, I think, look, this is certainly an imperfect situation for a coach when you've got key players, so constantly in and out of the rotation. He is an imperfect coach, so anytime you're frustrated, it's not like you are without merit. But, I think if you actually just sit back and say, what should their record be? Given Embiid has missed 14 out of 25 games, given George, I think, has missed, 15 or so games. Maxey has missed the last couple. McCain came back late. Watford in and out of the lineup. There's so many different. Kelly out for a month. It would be hard for me to be well, they should be 18 and 7 or whatever it would be. It's just 14-11 feels about right. And like I said, I think it's just so easy to look at what he doesn't do well or what the team doesn't do well, and even the areas where they were awful at to start the year, like transition defense, have been mildly better. And doesn't mean Nick doesn't frustrate me. If he did frustrate me, I'd give him a stock up. I think on our grades the other week, I gave him a C. And it feels like realistically a grade for him should be somewhere between a B- and a C-. It feels like it should be somewhere in that range. I think if you're too far out on either direction, it is, you're taking some of your frustrations out on other people. He's done a reasonable job.
If we didn't have the neutral, I would go with stock up.
I would have gone up before down.
Yeah. Yep. I would have gone up before down because of where things are.
Again, nobody came into this season thinking he's Spoelstra.
No.
This is based off of your expectations coming in. I think he has, I do think there have been periods, not all the time. Maybe the one thing he frustrates me the most is he lets really imperfect players cook more often than they should. And I think we're seeing that at times with Grimes and whatnot. See it with Kelly earlier on in his career, see it all over the place. But it's just based off of what I thought coming in. I think the offense is flowing a little bit better. I think the transition defense is getting slightly better. He's been okay based on the expectations you had.
Where do you, when it comes to the third quarter, where do you more lean?
Like I said, I think that is mostly something we cling to because we assume it's about rotations when a lot of times random stuff happens. It's inexplicable though. It really does seem like when the offense is at its peak frustration level, it's during that third quarter. And I don't know why. I'm sure he's not saying hey, go out there and ISO for 20 seconds and throw up a bad shot.
He's not.
But it seems like that's what happens way too often.
Yeah. I mean, look, he might let things go on too long, but his message in the locker room before they walk back out on the floor is not, hey, go do whatever you want in the third quarter. We'll be fine in the fourth because we're best in the league. We won't quit. He's not doing that. The message is being delivered for whatever reasons not being delivered, and the results are a pretty doggone good third quarter. It's the fourth quarter where they turn it up and they have that. So I don't know. But if I had to give one or the other, I would definitely go up before I would go down. But since we are able to go there neutral, we'll go with the neutral for Nick Nurse. He also has a team that is 14-11 right there in the mix in the Eastern Conference. So
yeah.
So there's that. All right, we're going to run through everybody else when we get back. Final pause here on the show. Bree did put up a poll here on the side. That's why she is the best, as Derek called it a little bit earlier, because is it a Scully or is it a Beanie? And Jess is getting attacked in the chat right now because of her coming after me. And my guys, Gene and Ramid, they had my back. And now you're getting wool hat, all kinds of stuff in the chat. Please vote on the poll, and we'll give you the results at the end of the show right here as we hang with you. Final break right here on the PHLY Sixers podcast.
Okay. Fall always feels like a reset. Between back to school, busy routines, and shorter days, finding time to cook can be tough. That's why we all here love Factor. Their chef-prepared, dietitian-approved meals make it easy to stay on track and enjoy something comforting and delicious, no matter how hectic the season gets. Factor gives you more variety and more meals. You can choose from a wider selection of weekly meal options, including premium seafood choices like salmon and shrimp at no extra cost. For more choices, the better nutrition. That's why 97% of customers say that Factor helped them live a healthier life. Feel the difference, no matter your routine. Eat smart at factormeals.com/PHLY50off and use code PHLY50off to get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code PHLY50off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. And guys, it's easy at this time of year to have your finances go completely out of control. You need to be using Monarch Money to help you manage that. Rated Wall Street Journal's best budgeting app of 2025, Monarch is the all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean interface on your laptop or your phone. And right now, just for our listeners, Monarch is offering 50% off your first year. During this holiday season, Monarch was the wake-up call I needed. It made me stop and adjust my spending before the credit card bill arrived. It's my essential year-end financial reset tool. You can link everything, investments, 401ks, property value, to get your true net worth and stay on top of your end-of-year priorities. Monarch does the heavy lifting, linking all of your accounts in minutes, and you get clear data visuals, smart categorization of your spending, and real control over your money. Named Best Budgeting App of 2025 by the Wall Street Journal. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code PHLY at monarch.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com with code PHLY.
Welcome back to the PHLY Sixers podcast here, where we're going to run through the rest of the time here. No breaks. We're going to go through the rest of these players. I love the back and forth there in the chat. Beanie versus Scully. Not Beanie Siegel versus Scully on the X-Files. The Beanie versus the Scully, the headwear. Team Scully here on the show. Yes, Puppas. Love X-Files. FBI agent.
Never got into it. You see, I think most people watching this would assume that I was the X-Files person on the panel. Never got into it.
Yeah. Love that show. Love that show. I think Ryan Coogler might be doing something with the movie again or a show. Okay. So maybe that'll pull people back in, better special effects and all that good stuff. And what's up, Scully team?
The theme song is burned into my brain though.
You don't even need words. It's just just the score. Yep. That's all you need. Just the score overall. Love it.
That's everybody. I still, when the HBO intro music plays, I still think Sopranos is coming on next.
I never watched the full Sopranos
season.
You
never watched Sopranos?
Nope. Wow. I've seen episodes. I've tried to run through it.
Okay.
They're good, but it didn't make me stick like The Wire or Entourage.
Okay.
Yeah.
You should put that on your to-do list.
Yeah. I think I got through up to season 3.
Okay.
And then I was like,
what was it, like 7 seasons? I think it was like 80-something episodes.
Yeah. They're good. I'm not saying they're not good.
I think it's worth the commitment.
Okay. All right. And then there's so many others that
I'll finish The Wire and you can finish Sopranos and then we can meet in the summer.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
Because I've done the same thing with The Wire where I've watched first 2 seasons or so and I just never make the commitment to get all the way there. And I know it's great. Everyone tells me it's great. I've just never finished it.
Game of Thrones?
Oh, yeah.
No, thank you. Yeah.
You've never watched
it? But I don't like period pieces like that go all the way back into, I don't care about that stuff. And I definitely don't care about dragons and all that stuff. I watched a dinosaur movie from the Jurassic Park.
That's not a period piece? No. That's not going back in time?
No, it's because it's Jurassic. They created dinosaurs.
So if we create dragons, you're in.
Today, modern? Yeah, I would probably watch it. Although I don't care about the dragons and stuff.
None of that makes any sense, but I appreciate you.
Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You should watch Game of Thrones. It's good. Watch first 4 seasons. Some of the best TV ever.
The one episode I caught, the man stood up in the window and just decided to fall out the window.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was all about, but I saw that. And
talking like a teenage boy, right?
I don't know who it was. He just stepped up into the window and decided it's like it's a gift now, I think. Yeah. I saw that live and I was like, oh, all right, cool. All right. Westworld? No, I didn't watch that either. Sorry, Markel.
Westworld was So now we're on two of my most disappointing series of all time. Because Game of Thrones, like I said, first 4 seasons was like some of the best TV I've ever seen.
Okay.
Westworld season 1 was, and then they kind of blew it in season 7 and 8. Westworld season 1 was fantastic. Had me completely hooked. And then it jumped the shark so quickly. So quickly. You can't even stream that nowadays. Like it's off HBO.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Bree, you know what? Because there are a lot of shows being brought up here in the chat, right? Mm-hmm. And I know you watched a lot of these shows, but we might have to do a separate video of you just asking us which ones we've watched, and it's a yes or no, and kind of go from there.
I'm so down for TV talk, like, or movie talk. Like, sign me up. I'll do that anytime.
Like Ramiz says, Tulsa King, Power, Reasonable Doubt. Check those out. Real Tulsa King. The only problem is I got a problem with somebody in that show, so I don't think I'm gonna watch that.
Okay,
I'll tell you about it off the air.
Okay.
Yeah, Oz. Hedford says was great. Never watched Oz.
I never saw Oz. Sons of Anarchy was brought up. Sons of
I saw
Anarchy
somebody
was
say
great.
Sons of Anarchy. I never saw that either.
Yep.
What was Orange was the New Black? That was a big thing. Never
Yep.
watched that. And episodes because it's on in the house and you pass it by and it's on all that stuff. But Big Bang Theory, yeah, I watched all of those though. I like a good sitcom. I'm in. Some of them I have missed, but we can get to those another day, and we can pull maybe some of you all and let you guys know when we're going to do that as a side conversation. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I still like you can't.
I just don't like period pieces. I don't like going back and.
No, I'm the same way.
I don't like even
but
when
it's a whole different world. It's not even really a period piece.
I mean. John Wick is a whole different world, but it's current.
So like Hedva brought up HBO's Rome, which was sort of like a precursor to Game of Thrones. It was their first like real huge budget show like that. You would be out on that too.
Yeah, I just don't like period. I don't know if it's what they wear. I don't know.
Okay.
You know, I don't. Right, Bree? I don't know. You walking around with what they wear. I don't know. that's just not my thing. I just can't do it.
Rome was really good too.
Was it good?
Shout out Ray Stevenson.
Okay.
R.I.P.
All right. We'll see. CSI Miami, my mom says. Because she knows I've watched CSI Miami. You know, it's different.
Huh. Can't believe no Game of Thrones.
Bree, we can all put together some shows. We can do that. Stranger Things, I haven't seen one episode. I don't know.
Really?
I don't.
Okay, you got to watch that. That's good.
Right.
That was good. And that's not a period piece.
Yeah, watch it before the finale
and I
drops.
like sci-fi stuff. I'm good with that.
The problem with Stranger Things is it's 5 seasons, but it's been over like 10 years.
Yeah.
So like those kids,
now.
they're not kids anymore.
But you're so lucky you get to binge it. You don't have to go through the horror of waiting 10 years.
Ed Wright with a good question. Did you watch Gladiator? Like our period piece movies?
I did not
fine?
watch Gladiator. No, I
What
did not.
Oh,
Nope.
okay. Yeah, that's where I draw the line.
Skip the second one. It doesn't exist.
I didn't want to watch it. Period piece. I don't want to see it.
So do you just like hate history?
No, I love history.
Well, then what the?
I don't like it in movie form. I can watch a documentary on it. Like when Kyle comes back from vacation, we got a lot to talk about, right? But I just don't like period pieces.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't. Look, even let's say like a 19, you know, and you guys know I like mafia shows. I do like that stuff. And we know it has to go back in a period of that time. But I don't like watching stuff that's in the 1800s, and I don't like cowboy movies. One of my best friends is a big Western. I don't like that stuff.
I get cowboy movies all feel the same to me. I get sick
and
of
they're
them after a
all
while,
right
yeah.
older, and I just don't like that. I can't do it. So even when Denzel does what was that movie called? Him, Chris Pratt, and it's like the Hateful Eight or something. I don't know. I'm not watching it. I'm out immediately. I watched the trailer and then I'd be like, oh, okay, that looks pretty cool. She'd make a lot of money for them. And then I'm done.
This is very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I mean, you know a lot about me, so it's not all that surprising. But hey, yeah.
No, the anti-period piece, like that surprised me a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like we've talked about off-air Game of Thrones, so I feel like I knew that, even if I
you
probably
guys
forgot
talk
about it.
and I'd be like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Because I haven't
No,
watched
because Kyle and I talk about it a decent amount. It really was one of the most disappointing. I have rarely been so disappointed because, like I said, you have to, in order to disappoint me, you have to get my hopes really high. And my hopes were really high on that.
You guys know that Eddie Murphy is my favorite. All of you know this. When they created Life and we heard Life was about to happen when Martin was at his peak and Eddie Murphy is still Eddie Murphy, and then everybody else was going to be in it, from Bernie Mac to all of these great characters, great comedians and all of the time, I was pissed that it was set in the early 1900s. I was pissed.
So because I remember the Sixers.
I wanted it to be modern.
Back in 2001, their intro was based off of Gladiator. You just didn't get any of those references?
I knew it because I knew what Gladiator was, but I wasn't as...
Cuz was like obsessed with that movie when it came out.
Yeah. I'm out. Yeah.
So strange. Okay. Anyway.
No shame.
Stock down on Devon Givens.
Look at Freddie says, you guys talk about it. I say, I'm out. Yes. You guys talk about it. I'm out. I'm going to go shoot some hoops on the Papa Shot because I have nothing to add to this conversation when it comes to Game of Thrones. All right, let's go. Let's go to the next one, Bree. We got to run through this. Jared McCain, stock up, stock down.
This is another one.
This is where I want them to throw back and go back to a period piece of last year because he was fantastic.
Yes.
He is not.
And this is also one where I think this is a momentary thing. Like, if we're having a vibe check, I think he's going to be fine. It might not be fine for the rest of the year. It might, I'm not going to say he's not going to have his hot moments, but it's going to be, I think it could be an up and down season where maybe he's never truly as established in rotation as maybe I think he should be. And that will influence my next stock report on Nick Nurse. But I think, he has struggled and we've laid it out. And credit to Kyle, who doesn't really need any more praise because trust me, I'm sure he's confident. But he was on this pretty early where like this could be, I don't want to say a lost season, but this could be a bit of a struggle for him because he had no training camp, because he had, missed so much of the early season, in addition to the brace that he was wearing at the time and the thumb injury and everything. And I do think it has been tough for him to get back on the same page. He doesn't look like he's, he might be 90% physically at this point, but Jared McCain doesn't have the kind of athleticism there's not enough wiggle room there where he can lose 10% and be the same player. And also, he just seems like he's second guessing himself more than I remember him doing last year. And that's where I blame Nurse a little bit. But, Nurse is in a bit of a tough spot, which we talked about a lot earlier this week, so I'm not going to belabor it too much. But Nurse has to win games. I'd love for him to, like the 10 minutes Kyle Lowry got the other night, give those to McCain. Even if he's not playing well, I need McCain to get out of this little rut that he's in. But certainly, like based on expectations, it's been really rocky and really up and down.
I'll just go to the last part since we talked a lot about McCain and you just laid out all that great. I understand, though, when Nick Nurse wants to put in Kyle Lowry to help close out a stretch or stabilize things for 4 minutes because of the fact that he is a vet, knows how to run an offense, knows how to get things set, knows how to box people out, and just do all the little things to get in the way that, as we talk about Joel's rebounding positioning, we see what Kyle Lowry does too. There was a play that happened in that, I think it was the Milwaukee game, where he flashed to the middle of the floor and immediately he knew he was passing the basketball to the left corner for an open three-pointer that was knocked down because of all the games that he has played, and it's just the experience. I'm not saying give him more time, but when McCain is struggling in the way that he is currently, that Nurse decides, you know what, I need something stabilizing right here. I'm just going to go here for a few minutes. I'm not taking McCain out of the rotation. I'm just simply going here for these 3-4 minutes because of that. Because in that Milwaukee game, Kyle Lowry came in and it wasn't bad. It was just that, oh man, you brought Kyle Lowry in here. But when he was out there, he did a couple of things for that little short time of run, and it was all right. So I'll leave it there. Stock down for Jared McCain. I still have faith in him. It just has not been all that great for him for this season.
Yeah. And look, a stock report isn't like, that's not really projecting the future.
Yeah, it's
like
not saying we're done.
I have probably too much confidence in Jared McCain. I believe in him tremendously. I think he's going to be, at minimum, a 6-man quality player in this league. Maybe more, maybe not on this. Like I have my concerns about this team because of the fit with Maxey. But in terms of just his skill set, I think he's going to get back. But, I mean, look, I think, how many of us had him as a 6-man winner this year in our preseason? Did any of us pick him?
No.
He definitely was brought up in that conversation, though. And he is nowhere near performed that yet. Stock down, but I think the future is still bright if this was a Shady Rays segment, which is not.
You just made it, and that's okay because they are still a sponsor here on this show. As a matter of fact, here on this show, we're going a little bit of overtime, everybody. Thanks to you on the TV side. You know what we were doing on the TV side while you were there? We were talking about some TV that we're going to get to at the later date of some fun TV conversation. But if you want to continue this basketball talk, head over to allphly.com so we can have some fun here with some of the remaining players that we should have mixed in, but we had an extended television conversation because of period pieces, and it knocked out Dominic Barlow and all those guys. So there you have that. All right, let's get to some of these guys here. Dominic Barlow.
I mean, this is
easy.
The easiest one in the world. Yeah.
Yeah, this is easy. I mean, two-way guy that should be on a standard contract 2 weeks ago, and he has been phenomenal. Arguments will be made about him not starting if he is not starting when Kelly Oubre comes back.
I mean, there will be arguments suggesting that Kelly Oubre should be Wally Pipp for Dominic Barlow on a two-way contract.
Right.
If that's happening, and by the way, we haven't gotten to him yet. Kelly played some really good basketball before he got injured too. So if we're having that conversation, stock up is the easiest. Outside of Tyrese, this was probably the easiest grade to give.
Yeah, big fan of what he has done, and I'm very happy that he is on this basketball team. So not much to add there. We named a whole award after him during our post-game shows, which is the Togo Unsung Award, which is now the Togo, thank you, Rich P., Dominic Barlow Award, because he has graduated from that award. So that's how good Dominic
What are your
Barlow
thoughts on The Natural?
Never watched it. I watch all sports movies, all that stuff.
But will you watch sports movies based in a different era?
Yeah, but not too far back.
Okay.
Yeah. I watch baseball movies. I'm Major League, big fan.
Well, yeah, but that wasn't a period piece. That was contemporary.
Exactly.
But okay.
Yeah. Like
even if it's not directly based off of history, but the setting is just in a different historical era.
I just don't like it. Yeah.
All right.
I just don't like it. Like the court jester.
Kyle right now would be losing his mind. You are lucky you are having this conversation when the more respectable co-host is here and not with Kyle.
I would not care and argue back with him like we did with Die Hard.
This would be a Die Hard situation.
Yes, it would be. Yeah. I didn't see Remember the Titans because the court jester brought that up. I just didn't see it.
Sorry. But you'll watch Jordan highlights.
Yeah, I saw those live. All right, let's get to the next one. Yes, I am, I'm committed. Jabari Walker, stock up for me, neutral for you.
Just because I had really high expectations coming in.
I did not. I just thought, all right, let's see what happens. And I was surprised that he was on a two-way, but he has exceeded my expectations for the things that he has done for this basketball team, where he also should be on a standard contract. They're playing the numbers game right now. They can't really because Oubre and Wofford are not there, but he had that really good stretch where he could not be on the bench. And then he had a little 2-3 game window where it was like, all right, get Jabari Walker off the floor. Since then, he's been phenomenal for this team, playing center minutes, playing the 3, playing the 4, rebounding like crazy on the offensive glass and leaving no doubt over 2-3 people when he's getting those offensive boards. The Milwaukee game where he went 4 for 4 in the first half, knocking those threes down, had that heat check where his foot was on the line. He was so hot. His foot was on the line. He couldn't even heat check, right, just because of how good he was. Dominic Barlow, stock up for me. I mean, Jabari Walker, stock up for me. And again, we keep saying it. Those guys need to be locked in. They just need to be locked in.
Yeah, they're not going to be, but I've said that almost every show for the last month. I think he got a neutral from me for 2 reasons. One, I had pretty high expectations coming in. I felt like he was a standard NBA contract player. So the fact that he's playing like a standard NBA contract player isn't stunning. Like that was baked into my analysis before coming in. And also he struggled, I think, for the first couple weeks of the season. He's another one where if this was broken down into segments of the season, it would have probably been stock down or neutral at the start, stock up here over the last 2 or 3 weeks. This was another one where I went back and forth. I felt like I was giving too many people stock up, so he got a neutral.
All right, cool. All right, we got some stock up, stock down in there in the chat for Jabari Walker. So we'll see where this one goes. I think we all are in agreement, though, that he's been pretty darn good. No matter what.
No, he's been. It's another one where if this was a grade for the signing, you're getting a very good grade. What did I give him in my grade? I forgot.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I watched it, I watched it, but I just don't remember which one.
Let's see. Did I probably sent that to Bree, right? I could probably pull that up pretty quickly. I feel like I gave him a pretty good grade, and based off. There we go. I found it. Yeah, I gave him a B-.
Okay, that's fair.
So based on a role, a two-way player, it's been a great signing. But I just felt like he was a steal as a two-way player, so that's
And
part
you
of it.
already, the expectations were already there. All right, let's keep going. People loving the fact that my period piece and is just driving you crazy. You just don't react like Kyle.
No,
so,
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't get angry quite that easily.
Anybody, when I come over your house, don't have any period pieces on because I'm going to tell you that I'm not watching that. Turn it off.
Got to call your whole setup garbage. It'll be
Turn it
lagging.
off.
It'll be buffering.
Turn it off. All right, what do we have, Bree? Neutral for you, for Quentin Grimes. Just because he's an erratic player for me, and I had him at, like, when we talk 6 man of the year conversation, he's in that conversation.
No, he is.
So I wasn't quite sure how it was going to look, how he was going to buy into it. And he hasn't started all that often, but I'm more up than neutral for Quentin Grimes.
I would say I'm leaning up. I think part of it, there's two things. First of all, the turnovers do frustrate me.
Yes.
Second,
but that's baked in.
it is.
Yeah.
But if you go on a per possession basis, he's turning the ball over more now than he was last year, which should not happen because he was handling the ball more last year than this year. So the turnovers are frustrating. I had pretty high expectations. Like, I was a pretty big believer in Quentin Grimes. That's why I was okay giving him a long-term contract, a significant long-term contract. And those are really the two reasons. Like, I don't think Quentin has been bad at all. He has been, I think, for the most part, what I expected, which is a really good borderline starter, 6-man player who should have a long-term contract. So it's not like neutral isn't bad. It just means I had pretty high expectations and he's met them. And he's not perfect. I will say the counting numbers are probably higher than I was expecting. Part of that's because Embiid and George have been out of the lineup so much, but he has been, like, legitimately good as a third or fourth option. It's when he scales up to a first or second option that I get a little frustrated. I do think a lot of people are maybe too harsh on him during those times. Like, I think some people are like, get him off the team, get him off the floor. I think they overreact to the obvious miscues that he has. When he's in the right role, I think he's a very, very good, useful player.
I thought we would actually see more of him these last 2 games where Maxey was out, and we haven't. We've seen more VJ Edgecombe, and he's been around that, 10 to 12 points. He'll give you some assists. He had the rebounding night where he was really good. He had 9 boards and helping out on the glass. But, yeah, I'm up on Quentin Grimes still. The question is, obviously, when it was brought up yesterday during the mailbag, is he going to be back next season? Is he enough of a player for what you're seeing in this role versus last year? And we still have so many games to go of, is he a player that you want back on your roster? And I don't know the answer for Derek, but I cannot wait to find out at the end of the season how he feels contractually and just player-wise, should he be back long-term on this contract. And people are loving the fact that the movie and TV conversation is setting up the chat pretty nicely here with my, yes, rip the family photos down when I come over from the 60s, because that's not happening.
A picture is by definition a period piece, yes.
I have seen Casino, Goodfellas, all of them, so I like those.
But
we can talk about it
your
later.
logical consistency is confusing
It's
me.
going to take over a whole 20 minutes. We need to do that separately. So let's keep going. Who do we have left, Bree? Andre Drummond. This one's pretty easy because he's played a lot, and we talked about how good he has been.
Yeah.
He's gotten a decent amount of unsung heroes, maybe 1 or 2 player of the games. Yeah. Stock up for Andre Drummond. I don't even think we really have to go too further in this one.
He's been helpful and useful, and honestly pretty consistent.
And healthy.
And B, my expectations were in the basement. Like, I had no expectations for him.
Yep.
So it's an easy up.
But I already know you're not bringing him back next offseason. So
no, I'm not spending real money on a 33-year-old big man. Like, that's not.
I know.
Which is why Adembona, I don't want to spoil anything, he needs to get his shit together, which we can say now.
No doubt. He really does. Or they're going to go in another direction and try to, they're going to draft over him, or they're going to try to sign somebody like a second-round pick, or they'll sign somebody to be a backup big. All right, who we have next? Kelly Oubre. His absence, first of all, what he did when he was out there on the floor, and then the absence tells you all you need to know about his importance on this basketball team. Stock up for both of us.
Yep. Easy.
Yep. We've talked about that a ton.
It doesn't even really need explanation.
No, they miss him. And they're winning games, but they still miss him, especially in the ones that are close that they lose because of his defensive presence. And when, to your point, you want Barlow on the floor, but they're not closing out on him. And Kelly Oubre is like a 34% career three-point shooter, but they still have to respect it enough to close out on him. And then he'll put the ball on the floor and you trust him.
Oh, I think you just overstated Kelly's three-point shooting. Hold on.
I was trying to be nice. Yeah.
32. Okay.
All right, so
it was actually higher than I expected.
I said 34, 35?
Yeah.
32? All right.
He's 34 and a half this year.
And for a while, he was at 40.
Yeah.
Ripping the nets until it came back down.
Well, I mean, the previous 2 years, he was at like 29 or 30. So,
Yeah.
like 34, I will take.
No question. All right, Bree, what do we have next? Another easy one.
This is maybe the saddest one that we had to do. We just talked about it. Drum's going to be 33 next year. You would really love to have a replacement in place. I just don't feel confident enough in Bona right now. I need him to get this stuff together. And honestly, like his last 2 or 3 games looked like they were kind of trending in the right direction, which is a little surprising that he has been completely out of the rotation. But then again, Embiid's back and he's playing regularly right now. So that's going to hurt Adem's chances, but he needs to needs to figure it out. Like he needs to be a more consistent defender. He needs to be more positionally sound. He needs to catch the damn ball when it comes near him, and do that with some kind of consistency.
Theo said the arrows should be longer on the screen down because that's how bad he has been. All right, so we'll just add to it there, Theo, and just go. It's just more down for him. You know what I wonder? Not just because of how much I liked Khalil Ware last season. You guys didn't dislike him. You just had questions about him. He went a pick before the Sixers and with the Heat and they went McCain next. I wonder if, let's say, McCain would have gone to Miami, Dalton Connect and Khalil Ware were still on the board. I wonder where Daryl Morey would have gone.
Yeah, I don't know.
Between those two. Because he certainly went big in the second round as a project.
I mean, my guess is Daryl more often than not doesn't want to use a premium asset, especially at that time you didn't know like Joel Embiid would be this unavailable.
Yeah.
My guess is he doesn't use a premium asset on that position.
Sure. That's fair. Man, he would look good in this lineup right now. Yeah. Future-wise, too, would look really good. Couple left, everybody. Let's get to it. Justin Edwards. Basically had one good game. Or I'll give him one good game, but a good 3-game stretch. After that game, he was pretty good. I think he hit his next 3 in that next game. Not in a row, but he had 3 more in that game, and he had another solid one. I would say I'm a little disappointed, and it's not as bad as it was when we saw Ricky Council last year come back, go get him Rick, where he was really down. Justin Edwards, though, has been inconsistent this season. And right now, he is not looking good.
No.
Only reason he's playing is because Kelly Oubre and Trendon Watford are not available.
He's been disappointing defensively. Doesn't do anything inside the arc. And he hasn't made a 3, it feels like, in about 3.5 weeks. It could not be more down. And this was a guy who we all remarked about how consistent he was, especially once he got in the rotation last year. He's consistently bad. And look, he's a young player. Obviously didn't have any expectations coming out of his draft. Ended up earning that contract. You didn't exactly have a ton invested in him, but he had the theoretical kind of skill set and under control style of play that you thought at the very least he would give you, be able to eat minutes in like a relief pitcher role. And he has not been anywhere near that.
Nothing of what we saw from March on last year, except for 1, maybe 2 games this season. And that's disappointing. Disappointing for him. Still has time, and he'll get opportunities until those other 2 wings come back. But he is not helping himself now. Not helping himself at all for when they do come back to see if he can crack that rotation once the players are back in the lineup. All right. Who do we have next? Janai Broom. Well, we didn't want him drafted in the first place.
Yeah, so our expectations were already low.
We were already low, and nothing has changed. We called for it because Bona wasn't good, and Bona was hurt, but he also wasn't good. Andre Drummond at that point was by himself, and Embiid wasn't on the floor, and you had Barlow and Walker playing 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And we were like, give the guy an opportunity, give him a chance, and let's see what happens. They didn't give him a chance. And when we did see him in a blowout situation, was it the blowout situation or when they put him in for a few minutes in a still competitive game and we said, now we see why he has not played?
No, he has, and I wish I had watched him a little more in the G League to see if he's even really finding success there and if he looks like in place there. I just don't know what he does at an NBA level right now, quite frankly. And the athleticism, combined with the lack of shot, a lack of athleticism, to be clear, if you haven't watched Chennai Broom, it's just a really tough combination to overcome. And everything he did well at the college level just doesn't really translate either to this league or to his role. And I don't know how he's going to make it work.
I don't know.
He's got time, but certainly not off to a good start.
No, he looks slower in the NBA than he does. And you knew he was already slow, but yeah. All right. 3 more, everybody.
Yeah.
Same.
Incomplete is probably fair. He's missed a lot of time.
Yeah, he has.
When he was in, he was pretty up and down. Like he would have a great game, and then he would be kind of
unplayable.
You didn't see him. It didn't feel like he was there.
Yeah.
And the defense is a pretty consistent problem. So if he's not involved offensively, then it is, I think it's going to be streaky for him.
Yeah. They miss him, though. We do know that.
Yeah, look, I will say I felt like early on he was being integrated in the offense pretty well. But it is like if he's not handling the ball, then like what would you say you do here? You've seen that one, right? Office Space?
Yeah.
Okay.
Seen that.
Okay.
Yeah. That's not old. It's just old because
it's old because it was released 25 years ago, but it was it was contemporary when it was released.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. You watch it and you're like, whoa, that's what computers look like back then? Yeah, that's what computers look like back then.
That was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really was. Trendon Watford.
Oh.
There you go. Trendon Watford. Yes, you're right, Bree.
Call out, Bree. We're not doing our job.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Trendon Watford. They miss him. They do miss him. But incomplete, neutral, I think it's fair either way for Trendon Watford. They need him back out there on the floor, no doubt about it.
And I just want to evaluate him.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 more, everybody. Eric Gordon. Neutral and incomplete, same thing. He's not asked to do a lot.
He doesn't play much, so I didn't feel great giving him a grade.
Yeah, he's veteran and
he is who he thought he was.
Played 4 or 5 games, and that's just what it is. Yeah, he's here. He won't be here next season. He won't be. Last one. There's only one left. Kyle Lowry. Same thing.
Yeah.
I think he's,
The guys who didn't play, I just said incomplete.
And the coaching is important. He's coaching. He's up off the bench. He's coaching. Yeah. In the ear, giving some advice to some players out there. Kyle Lowry.
Is he here next year?
In a quarter zip, yes.
Okay.
If he's not doing TV.
I didn't specify on the roster. So
the only issue is TV because he's now a part of Prime. So if that's already locked in, then he's going to be in the studio guy. Then he won't be here at all. Yeah, so maybe he just wants to jump into television. So, yeah. Stock report, everybody. Sixers stock report. That was fun.
Ended up being a long one, mostly because we got caught in a 10-minute debate about Devon's TV watching habit.
About movies and TVs and period pieces and, attire and all that stuff for movies and television from back then.
No Game of Thrones, man. That still blows my mind.
We'll do that separately. We'll talk about that separately. Bree, we also had one where there was a poll put up about beanies and Scullies.
I think you're losing that one too, buddy.
What was the final result?
Yeah, 55% say Team Beanie.
55?
Yeah.
That's closer than I thought.
Me too. I thought it would be a blowout.
I feel like you probably talked some people back into it.
I also, I think it's a cultural thing of how you word certain articles of clothing.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah. So I expected it to be a blowout with the beanies, like 75% of it. That's a beanie. You never see any clothing companies or anything when they, like on our website, it's the PHLY beanie.
Yeah.
Never will you see it's a Scully.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's okay though.
I do think Puppas might have a good point. Bree at an 80-minute show is like, guys, can we wrap this up?
No, I'm just looking out for the audio listeners. I'll talk movies for another hour.
Bo,
That's right, Ross. Scully life. That's what it is. Hashtag Scully Life as I adjust mine as we get ready to walk out of the office into the frigid cold. Because it's cold, got to put my Scully on so I can get warm out there. All right, let's get to it, everybody. We thank you for hanging out with us. It's time for the world famous roll call.
All right, and I did actually jot down
a
couple of names as it was.
I knew
By
you
the
did.
time Kyle gets here, I'll be ready to go.
I knew you did.
Started off with Theo.
What up,
Just 'cause
Theo?
he's right there, top of
That's
mind.
right.
Court Jester, D Flyers, Marcus Blackstock,
What up, Mark?
Eugene Ross,
Gene.
one of our most loyal listeners. by far.
100%. He said
100%.
North Philly stand up. Scully.
C. David, Jazz Graham,
What up, Jazz?
Line 1, Darkness.
Turn the lights down for... I'm not going to say it until tomorrow when they lose tonight.
Oh, Knicks.
Nope.
Miko effin Suave. Great name. I love that one.
Rico.
Philly fan 25.
Suave.
Puppas.
What up, Ramid?
We got Jess with the Purple Heart and Hedva. Didn't see either Val
Hey,
or
ladies.
Nona here tonight.
I thought I saw Nona early.
Did you see Nona?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
well,
ladies.
we'll give Nona a shout out just in case.
Yes.
Ed Wright, Provolone John, Freddie Powell,
Provolone.
Jack Reacher.
We need that fourth Jack Reacher movie. Get it together.
And of course, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
I think that's all that I have written down. Let's scroll up and make sure that I didn't miss anyone. But of course, thank you all for tuning in. Hit that thumbs up button if you can. We really do appreciate it. Drop a comment on how ridiculous Devon is with his TV takes. Drop that in the comments.
I'm not
on
offended,
YouTube.
so it's okay.
And also, of course, hit that bell icon so you know when we go live. It helps out the channel. It helps us sleep at night. As Kyle always says, it helps make Bree realize how special she is.
She's very special.
Yeah.
Yes, she is. She's the greatest.
We'll be back here tomorrow at 3, right?
3
One
o'clock
more
tomorrow.
3 o'clock show.
One more 3 p.m. show. That'll do it right here. Presented by Bet365 for Bree, Derek, I'm Devon. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock with some great movie takes right here on the PHLY Sixers podcast. Good night.
We all silly like the mayor.